I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Kakadash, double honors to the apostles of great millstone, peace, blessings, and honors to all the brothers in the truth. Look at that number right there. So 1 million deaths allegedly around the world, right? That's what they're saying. Some brothers may feel like it's nowhere near that. Some brothers may feel like they ain't even reporting all the numbers, the whole thing that went with China, and they might feel like it's way more than that. But either way, the end is coming. Here, let it play a little bit.
205,000 in the USA. Now, we're learning that in the race to develop a vaccine, sharks may be a key. How so? Shark liver contains a rare oil called squalene, which makes the vaccine more potent. More than 5...
Look at this shit, man. Esau, man. Esau's wicked, man. This is why Malachi 1 calls Esau the border of wickedness, the most wicked.
500,000 sharks may have to be captured and sacrificed to supply the world with the coronavirus vaccine. Shark advocates like Stephanie Brendel are concerned.
There will be people wondering why we worry about this, because humans should be more important than sharks, and they are. But we have to remember that there will be many other vaccines, and this will go on potentially for decades, and it will add up.
We're also learning more about a troubling side effect of COVID-19 patients that...
Hold on, let's leave it right here real quick, because I want to go back to that. Let's leave it right there. So, they're saying that 500,000 sharks, right, may need to be sacrificed to come up with a coronavirus vaccine because their livers have some type of special oil or liquid in it that helps the coronavirus vaccine be more effective. So they're saying something 500,000 might have to be sacrificed for this, right? For this thing that really people believe is all made up just to control the people. Now they're gonna go kill 500,000 sharks, just put them to death just to take the liquid, And the thing is like that lady, she was saying she has concerns for it because she knows, just like we all know, if Esau's saying 500,000, what do you think is gonna happen when he hits 500,000? He still needs more. To give the world the COVID-19 vaccine, not just America, but the world, they said. You think he's going to stop at 500,000 and say, okay, we hit 500,000, no more? No, the man's going to keep going. The next thing you know, you're going to look up and they're going to be into the millions of sharks killed. Then you're going to have the problem with, because sharks, see, everything on Earth plays a role in keeping Earth the way it's supposed to be. But, with the wicked, they got everything out of balance, But if you go kill off that many sharks, that's going to affect the life in the waters, because populations that usually would be cut down low that the sharks eat, like fish, they're going to be able to grow, which means that they're going to eat up more stuff, and when they eat up more stuff like the shrimp and stuff like that, and there's less shrimp because more fish are able to grow because there's less sharks. You see how everything affects? And then when there's less shrimp, then you don't have a filter for the sea, because that's what they're down there. They're bottle feeders, and they filter out the sea. They eat the bullshit in the sea to filter out to keep it clean. Now, if you don't have them in the sea, now you have a dirty sea. If you have a dirty sea, then you have contaminated waters. You have contaminated waters, then it hurts humans. And then it hurts the sky, it hurts the air pollution. See, so it all comes together, man. They don't know how to run this earth. They need to be taken out of power, which is what the Lord is going to do. And he's going to set up his kingdom and his people, his holy people, the Israelites, that need to be put in power to run this earth correctly, man. This is Proverbs chapter 11, verse 10. When it go well with the righteous, the city rejoice. And when the wicked perish, there is shouting. Right, because when the wicked is in rulership and the wicked perish, and the people, they rejoice and they start shouting because they're happy that the righteous is in office now. Because when the righteous are in office, things are well. The ocean's clean, the sky is clean, the forest is very, a lot of vegetation, people are fruitful and multiplying. People are happy. The economy is good. The laws, the rules, which are the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Lord, are fair and even and just. People are happy. It's like paradise on earth. And that's what the Lord's kingdom is going to be. It's going to be paradise on earth when he sets up his righteous and rulership. You know, let's jump to Proverbs chapter 29, right? Verse 1. He that being often reproved hardeneth his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy, right? Because Esau, we telling Esau these things. Everybody's been telling Esau these things. His own scientists been telling him, no, this ain't right. Yeah, global warming is affecting the California wildfires. And he hardens his neck at a scientist and say, no, I think you're wrong. No, it's not that. It's this. No, it can't be that. Just in Trump's case, just as an example. But even more when the prophets is telling him, look, you finna be destroyed because you did this, you did that. He hardens the neck and say he don't care. But what does it say? It says should suddenly be destroyed. And that's what we're seeing with this man's kingdom that's on earth, which is Esau's kingdom on earth. He's being destroyed, man. Verse 2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. So when the righteous are in office, when the righteous is ruling the earth, the people rejoice. But when the wicked is ruling the earth, the people mourn. So we see the people mourning right now. So what does that mean? That means that's because the wicked is in office. The wicked is in rulership right now. But he's about to be taken out of rulership, and then who's going to go into rulership? Well, the righteous. And that's the kingdom of heaven. And that's why it's like paradise, because the people are going to rejoice. Israelite people, the other nations, they got a judgment to serve out. But once their judgment is served on, they're able to go to their lands. They're even going to rejoice. Because things are going to be fair and even, and just, like I was saying. This is Daniel 2. Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. Because the Lord is about to set up his kingdom. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom. That's the kingdom of heaven, right? Which shall never be destroyed. That hasn't happened yet because we don't see the Lord's kingdom here that's never been destroyed. That means that it's coming. It's on the way. And it's never going to be destroyed once it get here. And the kingdom should not be left to other people. What does that mean? The kingdom should not be left to other people. That means that if you're not an Israelite, the kingdom's not going to be left to you. The kingdom, the promise was given to Israel, which is Genesis chapter 27, verse 27, I believe, or it might be 29, verse 29. Here, let me see if I can find it real quick to make sure, matter of fact. Genesis chapter 27, verse 27. No, verse 29. Yeah, verse 29. Here, let me finish this one out. So when it says, and the kingdom should not be left to other people, it means that the kingdom is not going to be left to other people outside of Israel, the Lord's people, man. But it should break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it should stand for and it should stand forever. So these other kingdoms, which are ruling on the earth right now, are the wicked kingdoms. But the Lord's kingdom is going to break those kingdoms in pieces, and then the Lord's kingdom is going to stand forever. That's what it's talking about. When the righteous are in rulership, the people are going to rejoice. That's the Lord's kingdom. But when the wicked are in rulership right now, the people are going to mourn. This is Genesis chapter 27, just in case you didn't know who the promise was given to. Genesis chapter 27, verse let's just start at verse 28. You could read this whole thing, but this is talking about Jacob, which name was changed to Israel. Therefore God give thee of the dew of heaven. So we're going to get the dew of heaven. We're going to get the fatness of the earth, all rulership over the earth, in the air, in the sky. That's what the heavens is talking about right here. And plenty of corn and wine, success and happiness. Verse 29, let people serve thee and the nations bow down to thee. No, the nations are going to be in rulership in the kingdom of heaven with Israel and his descendants. No, it says, let the nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, which his brother was Esau, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee, which thy mother's son was Esau, his other brother. They going to bow down to us. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. So all these other nations that already cursed us. They all had us in slavery. We went in slavery under the white man. No matter how you like it, we went into slavery under him. The Arabs, we went into slavery under them. All nations Israel that went into slavery under. It's all documented in the Bible. Babylon, Egypt, Syria, Persia, Media, the Greeks, the Romans. It's all documented, man. So all of them cursed us at some point in time. When we get our rulership, which this is talking about, which hasn't happened yet, because the Lord's kingdom is going to be set up forever when it comes. The Lord's kingdom ain't here yet. Hasn't happened yet. All those nations that curse us, they going to be cursed. They got a judgment to go to. So no, they can't go into rulership with us because they have a judgment to go to. And blessed be he that blesseth thee. And the only one that blesses us is the Lord. And our fellow brothers, the ones that wake up and we start going out there and we fellowshipping, brothershiping, and we keeping the law, statutes, commandments, and prophesizing the word of the Lord, right? But Esau had got the same blessing, So when did Esau rule the world? This is verse 40. No, this is verse 39. No, I'll start at 38. And Esau said to his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Because he gave that blessing to Jacob. Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. So his father blessed him too. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the end in the dew of the heavens from above. And by the sword should thou live. That's the key. And shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So when Esau came in power, after they call it the Dark Ages, right? The Dark Ages, we had our foots on their neck. They call it the Dark Ages because so-called dark-skinned people were ruling the earth. So it was the Dark Ages for them. That's why when you read in history class, they don't really touch on it that much, but they just call it the Dark Ages. Because it was a dark age to who? Not to all people on earth. It was dark ages to their people. Because they're the Edomites. But they broke that yoke off, and then they came into power. So are the Edomites done away with? No. They're still here. Because when did they rule the earth? Well, they rule the earth right now. Who rules the earth by the sword? Don't America has the #1 military on earth? Don't they rule the earth and everything in the earth? Aren't they the #1 economy? By what? By their military. Don't they have the biggest military budget? The biggest military? Yes, because they put all their funds into their military because that's their sword. That's their weapon. It's their military. If a nation don't comply with America, what do? They put sanctions on them. If the sanctions don't work, what do? They do false flag attacks and they set shit up so they could go in there and go to war with them. What are they attempting to do with Iran right now, since Iran's not, bowing down to them pretty much and complying with them? Well, they got sanctions on Iran right now, right? That's a fact, right? Let's go a little bit further. What are they planning on doing? There's been confrontations of what? War. Because why? Because they're not listening. Same thing with Venezuela. They put sanctions on them and all their allies, and they're planning on going to war. Because they rule the earth with a sword. So that's how we can know who Esau is today. Because he came out red. So who's red on the earth right now today? There's no such thing as a white person. You put a white piece of paper next to a white person, it's not going to be the same color. They're red. Esau name in Hebrew means it means wasted away. That's what it means. What was wasted away? When they seen him, why did they say Esau? They were looking at something, appearance, and they said Esau, his father. Why? Because his skin was wasted away. His skin was different from his mother's, from his father's, and from his brother's Jacob's. That's why the Bible goes in and goes into his appearance when he came out, but it doesn't go into Jacob's appearance because Jacob looks just like his father and mother. But it goes into Esau's appearance because Esau was different. He came out red, which is a so-called white person, which rules the world by the sword today in their rulership. And that was the promise that Isaac gave to them. He got the same exact promise as Jacob, that he will rule the world. The only difference between his promise and Jacob's promise is that there's a lot of different things. The first difference is that Esau came out first, so he will rule the world first, which is what we see now. Jacob will rule the world. That's referring to the kingdom of heaven. That's what's coming after. That's what's about to come when this world's destroyed. That's the first difference. The second difference is Jacob's blessing is that thy brother should bow down to thee, which is Esau. So in the kingdom of heaven, Esau is not going to be in rulership with us and going to be saved with us. All Edomites are going to be bowing down. They're going to be servants and slaves. And then if you go to Obadiah, it tells you what's going to happen to them after that. They're going to be wiped off the earth. Not my words. It's the scriptures. It's Obadiah. Go read Obadiah and break it down, right? Now, the other difference is that Esau will rule in his rulership. He will rule by the sword. It didn't say that Jacob will rule by the sword. It just says those that curse thee should be cursed and those that bless thee should be blessed. That's spiritual stuff. Esau's carnal. He's going to rule by the sword. You know, so not really to get off topic, but the thing is that Esau's in his kingdom right now in his rulership. I believe that's second address 6 and 9, or it might be first address 6 and 9, where it says Esau should be the end of the world and Jacob should be the one that followed. That means that Esau should be ruling all the way up into the kingdom of heaven is here. Look that up. You know, so back in Proverbs, when the wicked are in rulership, the earth mourn, but when the righteous in rulership, then the earth rejoice. You know, because of things like this. You know, let's let this play.
Be captured and sacrificed to supply the world with the coronavirus vaccine. Shark advocates like Stephanie Brendel are concerned.
There will be people wondering why we worry about this because humans should be more important than sharks, and they are. But we have to remember that there will be many other vaccines, and this will go on potentially for decades, and it will add up.
We're also learning more about a
Exactly.
troubling side effect of COVID-19 patients that troubles so many people, particularly women.
I just wanted to show you the amount of hair that's coming out of my head as a result of COVID.
Videos of actress Alyssa Milano and other sufferers pulling out clumps of hair are causing widespread concern.
I was worried.
Christine Liff was diagnosed with the coronavirus in March and showed us how much hair she still loses on a regular basis.
I was considering at a certain point, do I have to get a wig? Do I have to start wearing, scarves on my head? Because, yeah, it is a form of your identity, and it was very unnerving how much I was losing.
Research now confirms that COVID-19 does not directly cause hair loss.
One brushing.
It's stress.
This is my
The uncertain.
Right, which is a part of it. So it all goes together. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14. Does not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? Which a lot of our men like to have long hair these days. I used to have long hair and I had to get rid of it. It's a shame unto you, man. The world has tricked you. They turned everything upside down and got you out here with long hair thinking it's cool. It's a shame unto you. While Esau, most Edomites, they got low cut hairs. You know, Edomite man. So they keeping their glory by having low hair, but now all our men got long hair. See, it's all upside down. They tricking you, man. Verse 15. But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given her for a covering. You know, so it's a glory for a woman to have long hair. But as you see, this is all by the Lord's work, all by the Lord's hand. He's taking that glory away from these heathen women, making their hair fall out literally, and taking their glory away. You know, that was a curse put on our people. A lot of Israelite women don't have long hair. They don't know why. They just think it's genetics. But the reason why is because that was a curse that put on our people. Read Deuteronomy the 28th chapter and you will find it in there. Start at the 15th verse on down and you will find it in there. But that was a curse put on our people. Now the Lord's starting to put the curses on the other nations. Now you seeing these women, they starting to lose, the heathen women of the other nation, they starting to lose their hair because they glory being taken. The Lord stripping them of all that, man. And it's a great thing. I'm going to leave it there. I ain't going to make this video too long. So I'm going to say salvation to the elect. Shalom.